I taught myself to cook. Over 20 years of obsessively experimenting in the kitchen and questioning everything to create my magical restaurant dishes. Now I'm going to share my secrets with you so you can cook like me at home. Looks brilliant, doesn't it? Each week we'll look at one key ingredient, like chocolate, cheese or eggs. This week it's Britain's favourite bird, chicken. I really believe that by getting to grips with your ingredients, you'll gain the confidence to be more creative with your cooking. I like that. I'm going to go back to basics, challenge traditional techniques and compile a compendium of tips to transform how you cook at home. I'm taking 5 from that one. So come and share my innermost secrets. Now for this show, my ingredient is one of these. Chicken, the most popular meat in the world, but so often overcooked. It's time to give this old bird a makeover. I'm starting with basic techniques like how to roast your bird to perfection every time, and putting my nose and recipes to the test with my local ladies hockey team. Oh, this isn't fair. Then some poultry magic, my dreamy chicken and ham pie with a wobbly sauce. I'll let you in on my guilty chicken pleasure. Usual, Heston? Oh, yes, please. And show you how to create a cascade of mouth-watering smells. Oh, and you'll need some dry ice, a washing up bowl and a blowtorch. Oh, you have to hold it in, apparently. After this, you'll never cook or look at a chicken the same way again. Here is the fully knackered chicken. This is the first time in my life that I've followed the instructions of roasting a chicken on a packet. I'm flabbergasted. Dry, stringy, cremated chicken. That's what roasting for 90 minutes at 190 degrees, like it says on the packet, can get you. Roast chicken deserves better, so I've got a great technique to get the best out of Britain's favourite bird. I'm going to show you how to make the most incredible, succulent, mouth-watering roast chicken you've ever tasted. So here's a revolutionary way to roast chicken by following 3 simple steps. First step is I'm going to not do something, I'm going to undo something. This, trussing. And what trussing does is it squashes the legs and the breast together, and this bit in here doesn't cook. Generally, chickens are only trussed for appearance and packaging, so to get an even temperature around the bird, I just open the legs out, just like that. Simple. For my next trick, I'm boosting the moisture in the meat. It sounds scientific, but all you need is a washing up bowl full of water and some salt. Brining involves immersing the meat in a salt solution. So the key thing is the amount of salt I'm adding, 60 grams per litre. If you add more than this, it can dry your meat out, but a watery salt solution will boost the moisture in your meat. The brine will change the proteins a little bit, so it will enable the chicken to hold on to more moisture when it's cooking, which will mean it's that much more juicy and succulent. Leave the bird to brine in the fridge overnight, then drain, pat dry and remove the wishbone. It makes carving much easier. I was going to say, snapping the wishbone was really important to you. Pop it in the tray. Unfortunately, I've already snapped mine here, so tough. To get ready for roasting, stuff with thyme and a lemon and smother the skin with butter. So now for the most important part of this process, the roasting. Now, this is where I go off-piste. I'm roasting my chicken at an unusually low temperature, 90 degrees, for at least an hour and a half before I check it. You're going to think that that's not even hot enough to give your hand a suntan, let alone cook a chicken. But believe me, it is. In a really hot oven, the meat contracts and literally squeezes out all of its juices. By roasting low and slow, you hold on to the moisture in the bird. You'll have the most mouth-watering, incredible roast chicken you would ever have tasted. Now, don't be disappointed, but my roasting technique doesn't flood your kitchen with delicious Sunday roast smells. This is a good thing because smells are lost flavour. But if you're not using your nose to tell when it's good enough to eat, how do you know it's ready? Traditional recipes tell you how long you should roast your chicken for. But I found cooking times are just so hit and miss. A more accurate technique is to take its temperature. This will be the most important piece of kitchen kit you've ever had. It's a probe, or in non-chefy terms, a thermometer. After an hour and a half in the oven, check the temperature of the thickest part of the breast. If you want to stick to the safety guidelines, you need to take your chicken to 75 degrees. But for me, 60 gives me the perfect bird every time. Almost there, but before the final step, the bird needs to rest out of the oven, uncovered for 45 minutes. Don't worry about it getting cold. What resting does is it allows the chicken to fall down a little bit, which is very important because it relaxes and holds in all those fantastic juices. To brown the skin, turn the heat to its highest setting, baste and return to the oven for 10 minutes. Right, so there is my beautiful browned roast chicken. See all the juices still in that, how shiny that leg is. Remember the traditionally roasted bird from earlier? Yes, this one. Look what's happened to the flesh. It's kind of like chalk. Look at this other chicken. The whole side of this is just glistening with moisture because it's all inside the bird. The best way to carve your chicken is to remove the breast and slice across the fibres. This makes the meat fall apart and seem more tender. It's juicy, it's really tender, and just tastes fantastic. When you get food like that, life doesn't get much better. Roasting is just the start, so I've roped in my fellow chef Jockey to show you what else this versatile bird is good for. Now, this is a proper chicken. By the time this arrives in the supermarket, it's had a lot of its bits taken off, gutted, and stuck in a plastic packet. So I'm going to basically take you through the various parts of the chicken. So, scalpel.
Scalpel, would that be that one?
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do, yeah.
Thank you. Cut the head off. Chicken is a brilliant ingredient. You can use just about every bit of the bird. Wingtips, good for flavour, good for stocks. Feet off. They've got a lot of gelatin. Stew them. The claws aren't very edible, though. But some of the tastier parts aren't for the squeamish. I'll take off Parson's nose. And there's not really a particularly elegant way of doing this. You've just got to get your hand right in there.
You're enjoying that.
There's nice bits of fat coming out of here. You can render that down and use it for frying. It'd be delicious.
So liver?
Liver, chicken livers, that can be fried or made into pâtés. So this is the gizzard, so to split this open, if you take these off, salt them for a bit, wash them off and cook them gently in the chicken fat, and they're delicious in salads. So that now is looking like chicken that most of us would recognise. Now, to break this down, there's your leg, the drumstick, and the chicken thigh.
It's a bit cruel doing this when we've got the chickens behind us.
I know, I just heard a little clucking noise, and I thought,
not me.
Sorry, mate. And there's the breast. So, as you can see, there's very different wastage on a chicken. There are certain people that would braise these intestines, but I would suggest that they may well be a very acquired taste. So, chicken, what a wonderful ingredient. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, one of the most important things to get right with chicken is a good stock. Stock's a passion of mine. It's the hidden hero in hundreds of recipes, so it's vital that it's packed with flavour. Yet so many people settle for a weak chickeny taste and compensate by adding unnecessary ingredients. So I've challenged the local hockey team to a stock tasting match to see if I can identify their ingredients and convince them that the secret to a killer chicken stock is quite simply the chicken. Are you kind of the female equivalent of rugby team?
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
3 ladies with 3 mystery stocks. I don't remember agreeing to a blindfold. Feeling just a little bit scared.
Have you heard of this game before then? Right.
I thought it was illegal. My first challenger is Angela. I can't taste any chicken there. You got tons of mushrooms in this?
No.
I know what. I think, have you got a vegetable stock cube?
Ah, I'm going to have to say yes.
The cube is no match for a freshly made stock. My next challenger is Linda. Is this a pre-roasted carcass?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Onions and carrots?
There are onions, no carrots.
No carrots. Well, then, I think there might be mushrooms in this.
What kind?
Oh, this isn't fair.
Shiitake mushrooms.
OK.
Mushrooms add an earthiness, but in this instance, they overpower the chicken. Because stock made from a single carcass will give you a weak chicken flavour. And my last stock challenger is Emma. It's nice stock, actually. It's a light chicken stock. Chicken carcass.
Chicken carcass. Yay!
Bit of celery.
Celery. Yay!
Carrot.
Yay!
There's a tiny bit of white wine in there.
Well, a bit more than tiny.
Identifying those ingredients was easy. Onion and carrot will add some sweetness. There's more fragrance coming from celery, because celery can be really strong. Emma's stock was good, but I was looking for something with more depth of flavour. Emma's technique of chucking loads of veg in the pot is the traditional way to boost the flavour. But a more effective technique is to boost the taste of the chicken, but without adding a stock cube. Right.
Whoa!
Here's what I made earlier. My stock has a really dark roast chicken taste. Verdict?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's better than yours.
But can they guess how I've done it?
Got snails in, leftover snails.
No. This is the key thing, and it's skim milk powder, just from the supermarket. My stock combines milk powder with chicken wings and uses a high-pressure cooker to super boost the flavour of the chicken. The ladies didn't stand a chance at picking out the other ingredients, but coming up, I'll show you how to make it. In part 2, I'll give you the secrets to that match-winning stock, make a chicken and ham pie like no other, and I'll try to impress the hockey ladies with some real magic that you can do at home. Each week I'm taking on one simple ingredient and showing the basic techniques before sharing my most magical recipes. This week it's Britain's favourite bird, chicken. Before I make a truly epic chicken and ham pie and conjure up a cascade of chicken-boosting aromas, I'm going to show you how to make my super flavour-boosted chicken stock. The stock I've developed tastes like the essence of pure roast chicken. You'll never look at a stock cube in the eye again. Quite simple, a couple of brilliant techniques. I'm using chicken wings. Now, they're inexpensive, and they've got a lot of gelatin in them, which means they're going to make the stock nice and thick. I'll still use a carcass, but these wings will really boost the chicken flavour. First brilliant technique, it's this. This is milk powder. Now, that's going to seem pretty strange adding milk powder to meat. But just a couple of spoonfuls will pack them with flavour. Now, when we roast meat, the proteins and the sugars react and form these browning flavours. It's called the Maillard reaction, and it produces the meaty taste. By adding milk powder, I'm adding more proteins and more sugars, which is kind of like adding fuel to the fire. And then pop them in the oven, 200 degrees centigrade, until they're nice and golden. And then you end up with them looking like this. Add a splash of water to the tasty brown bits in the pan and scrape with a spoon. Most glasses are steamed up. I can't see a blooming thing. Then soften a carrot, a couple of onions and 100 grams of mushrooms. Add the wings, those pan juices and a carcass from a roast chicken. Cover the whole lot with water and it's good to go. So instead of a saucepan, I'm using a pressure cooker. These are brilliant for making stocks because they trap in all of the aromas. After 2 hours, let the cooker cool completely, then strain out the bits through a sieve lined with wet muslin. See, for me, it's rich, it's got great body, and it's got a great roasted chicken flavour. If you can resist knocking it back in one, there's a really simple way to store your stock. Just freeze it. These frozen stock cubes are super handy. Pop them in stews, sauces, or whenever you need a boost of flavour. For me, one of the signs of a great chef is their ability to make a good consommé, which is a beautifully clear, rich soup, but it's a right old hassle to make. It takes all sorts of special equipment, hours of faffing, you just never bother. But I found a way to make a consommé at home that is as good as you'll find in any Michelin-star restaurant. So, here's my incredibly simple shortcut to a pure glass of chicken heaven. And I'm going to boost its flavour with the aroma of a jasmine flower. All you need are your frozen stock cubes. Just let them melt in a sieve lined with muslin and they'll undergo a miraculous transformation. Inside here, the ice cubes are melted and I've got this kind of gunky, squidgy stuff in the bottom. Look at the liquid, and that is crystal clear. Warm through, add your flavour-boosting jasmine flower, and hey presto, you've got an amazing dinner party starter. That is as good as any consommé you're going to find in any Michelin-star restaurant anywhere. Now, since I've been telling you all my Michelin-starred chef's secrets, I also want to come clean about one of my naughty lunchtime personal favourites. I just love a takeaway chicken kebab. A lot of people think I only eat Michelin-star food. I've got guilty food pleasures too.
Usual, Heston?
Oh, yes, please. Can I have a bit more chilli sauce? Sure. Thanks, Harry. As long as it's good quality chicken, I love it. But if there's one thing that gets me running to the kitchen more than anything else, it's the lure of a British classic, the chicken pie. But it often smells better than it tastes. How disappointing. So many traditional pies are just really unpleasant. You've got a completely gloopy sauce holding together bone-dry meat, and if there are any other ingredients in the pie, they all taste the same. So I'm going to show you how to make a chicken and ham pie unlike any other. I found that there are two secrets to pulling off the perfect pie. To start off with, the chicken. Stage one, you need to maximise the chicken flavour, so opt for thighs instead of bland breasts. Here, I've got some chicken thighs that I've brined for about 5 hours. The brine packs the meat with moisture, making it super succulent. Then boost the flavour of the thighs by simmering in 500 ml of my intense roast chicken stock. I've taken the skin off of the thighs before I brine them. I want their tasty fat, so heat them in a pan until it's released. Then use that flavour-packed fat to fry a chopped leek for a couple of minutes. So I've got all the delicious flavour from the skin without having the skin itself in the pie. Once the chicken thighs have started simmering in the stock, pop them in the oven. To keep your meat juicy, cook at a gentle 85 degrees for an hour and a half. It's a long wait, but believe me, it's worth it. After their bath in stock, your thighs will be super tender and tasty. Now to the heart of this recipe, and for me, it's the most exciting part of this whole dish. I've discovered a way to make a sauce with flavour-boosting powers. This is the magic ingredient, agar-agar, which you can get from supermarkets. It's made from seaweed. It's a great technique for thickening sauces. It'll let all the ingredients really shine. But if you can't find agar-agar, you'll still get a tasty pie by thickening with corn flour. So to get started, add 135 ml of cream to reduce white wine, 135 ml of milk, and a ladle of that intense chicken stock. 90 grams turns a hot sauce into a wobbly jelly, so simmer and leave to set in the fridge. Here is my chicken pie sauce set into a jelly by agar. Apart from being amazingly wobbly, what's great about this stuff is it's heat resistant. So you're going to be looking at that and going, how on earth is that lump of gel going to thicken the sauce for the pie? Well, I'll show you. You just take a hand blender and do this. Right, now, if I show you this, that lump of jelly has now been pureed. Because it's heat resistant, it won't melt in the oven, so your sauce stays thick and creamy. Now just assemble your ingredients. The chicken thighs, 200 grams of cooked ham hock, the leeks, some butter mushrooms, and whole grain Dijon mustard. Add your beautiful smooth sauce, give it a stir and chuck in a big handful of chopped parsley. Well, that would be delicious as it is in a sandwich. Add a pinch of pepper, fill your dish and top with a sheet of puff pastry. Puff pastry is a big job to make, and you can get such good quality now in the shops that I'm using a sheet of that. Brush with egg and bake for 15 minutes at 215 degrees. That is so succulent. There's no gloopiness. You can taste every single ingredient in there. To me, pies don't get any better than that. For my chicken and ham pie recipe or anything featured in the series, go to channel4.com/Heston. I've shown you one magical flavour enhancer for chicken. Now it's time for another. I've got my hockey team coming around for a roast chicken lunch, and I have a theatrical way of boosting the flavour of their food with aromas. Although this might look like table decoration, it's in fact an amazing way of releasing aromas at the dining table. The flavour of food comes from its taste and its smell, so using aroma in your cooking gives it a real boost. So because I've used lemon and thyme in my chicken, I want to serve a smell to go with it. And here, and this is the magic ingredient, it's dry ice. You can buy dry ice online, but you need to be careful handling it because it's really cold, about -80 degrees centigrade. Carefully fill the base with a layer of dry ice. Add lemon, thyme and essential oil to some hot water. And then, all I'm going to do in front of my guests is water my lemons. The smell of lemon and thyme will go brilliantly with my roast chicken. I hope my dry ice flavour booster will impress the noses of my guests. I want to show the ladies how aromas can boost flavour, so I've come up with a little nasal workout. These are got some swimming nose clips. I'm going to get them to try the wine without their sense of smell.
Have a good glug of wine.
It tastes quite bitter.
Can't taste anything.
Bit of sourness. You don't really get any wine flavour. Now, just after you swallow, take your nose pegs off and see the difference.
Oh, wow.
That flavour just comes through.
I feel like I'm in a woodland or...
It's completely different.
Time for the chicken.
Ooh. There you go, Wadders.
Lovely.
The chicken has been roasted with lemon and thyme.
It's really moist.
It's really tender.
Now to enhance the flavour of the chicken with the power of smell.
The thyme is stronger now since you've done that.
Smelling it tells your brain you're tasting it, although you're not, you're smelling it.
That is tasty.
Thank you.
This is yummy.
It's amazing what you can do with food. Next week, miraculous cheese. I'll smoke it, bake it and stretch it.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'll even iron it and make something truly magical with simple cheese on toast.
He didn't see that.
Heston's new book, Heston Blumenthal at Home, has recipes from the series, plus many more, and is available in all good bookshops now. For more information, go to channel4.com/Heston. Still to come, at 9, wheelchair user Tricia can't wait to meet her first baby in One Born Every Minute. Next, though, the boys look at slow food. It's the fabulous Baker Brothers.